to your 2021 mid-year read. This read is very similar to 2021's Leap of Faith that we did at the beginning of the year. And I encourage you to go revisit it if you would like to see what advice Spirit had for you as we went into 2021. This read is to see how you've progressed, what new obstacles, new things have presented itself, and where the choice of path that you've chosen and the advice that we have to get you where Spirit would like to see you, where your higher self would like to see you. So take your time, choose the track that calls to you, drop into your intuition, pause the video, look at the picture, decide what's calling to you. I want to thank everybody. I know it's been kind of a busy first 6 months. Has gone by fast. I haven't done any weekly intuitive reads. I've done sporadic reads. I do appreciate you guys still being a part of this journey. I appreciate you guys' energy. We are coming into summer, which also means that some other priorities of mine has started to lift, meaning I can put more emphasis where my heart lays, and that's with you guys, the collective. So thank you for being part of this journey. If you haven't seen 2021's Leap of Faith, I'm going to put a link up where you can click on it. You can go revisit that, see where you were kind of maybe at the beginning. Time is fluid. And see where you are today. Otherwise, take your time, look at the track, go to the one that calls to you. And as always, I send my love, my gratitude. Yeah, without further ado, let's get to your guys' mid-year read. Mwah. To the group that was called to track number 1. We got a mixed bag of emotions going on here, guys. The premeditative download I get screams to me authenticity. It feels like to me you are stepping into and learning to embrace that which you are. It has this feeling of testing the waters of who can I be real with in finding my soul tribe, and who do I need to allow to drift a little bit further. Even more, and probably more exciting, comes with it this feeling of finding not only your authenticity, but a calling. Something in your heart that you know you're here to do. And it's a very, very beautiful energy. As I lay your cards, our underlining energy comes with a 5 of Wands, and it comes in reverse. Is this the representation of avoiding certain people? Maybe picking and choosing who you can be authentic to. But this comes with caution, because really just stepping out your full authenticity is to be true to everyone, regardless of how they may react to you. The face of the spread, the card that best represents you, is this energy. The energy of the authenticity of you, and knowing that there is a pull for something for you to do that lights you up. And you may not even fully know what it fully entails, but you know you want to go there. It comes with the 3 of Wands. The passion, the fire, the desire. Waiting for the ship, ready to jump on board. Feeling a calling, feeling a tug. Interesting enough, it came with another card, but it came on its side, which almost feels like the challenging factor of the Ace of Pentacles. Indeed, a new start. But is being self-sabotaged? Quite potentially. Because the way the spread is laid out is to ask, what is the habit that you are in that Spirit is asking you to move through? And the triggering moment comes with the Queen of Cups, but she comes in reverse. And immediately I hear and feel insecurity. It is interesting, and I cannot come up with any other way to explain this energy other than to use CRYSTALClear as an example. I think you've done a lot of work. I think you know you're worthy. I think you know yourself. You've come to understand thyself and your true intentions. I feel like you've done the healing. But in reference to CRYSTALClear, even though I had done all that healing, when it came out to a point of actually liberating myself, if you will, to step into my full vulnerability and show up as me, there was a lot of hesitancy to show up and say to the world, especially when Spirit in the very beginning would ask me, get these downloads and to ask me to record it and put it out there to the public. That was scary. Scary as shit. I hear voices and I got Spirit here and I got this message for somebody, and because that's not conventional, that's not necessarily accepted. And I had to be reminded time and time again. I felt it in my heart. It was very uncomfortable, and I didn't know how the world would perceive me. And this isn't to make it about me. It's the way to explain this energy I'm picking up. Spirit had to remind me, is it about me or is it about who I want to serve? And if it only helped one person, is that not enough? And in the healing, being humbled enough, I found the courage to do so. But I understand this insecurity. And it's further clarified by the reaction of Five of Cups that comes in reverse, which is relying on those old stories. Even though you've done the healing, it still lingers. The stubbornness and feeling at times maybe a bit of a coward. Guys, Spirit still sometimes has me do downloads, or else I'll do a channel message and I'll read it and second guess it. And I can feel it in my soul. You need to do it, but I think people are going to think I'm crazy. But it's a faith that leads, right? This, to me, represents that ego. Trying to protect yourself from outside influences, what other people might think. Maybe of being rejected. But that's the beauty about being part of the authenticity, right? Is you're also going to attract your soul tribe. But saying and getting there are two different things. And what's the result when it's all said and done? Your insecurity, old stories, your old stubbornness and feeling a bit of fear comes with the Eight of Cups, which screams to me this feeling of stagnation. The fear of moving forward. Fear of moving forward. And again, I don't like using the word fear because I don't think you're in a state of fear. I think it's hesitancy. I think it's foreign. I just don't think you're familiar with how it's going to all play out. And that's what creates your cycle. So I asked Spirit, what is it that I can deliver to you, that who will be drawn to this, to help break their cycle so they can get where they want to go, where you want them to go, where they need to go? What is the advice? It comes with the Eight of Swords, but it came on its side. Now the Eight of Swords is very much limiting belief, old beliefs, that which we've created, our own binding. This reading is only you that's stopping yourself at this point. And it's clarified with the Hangman. Spirit asking you to gain that different perception. In my case, it was humbling myself to look at it as this is where my heart's at. And honestly, if it can help just one person, that's enough. And that was enough to give me the courage to do those early videos. And when they still ask me to do some things that I feel uncomfortable with, I lean into that faith. gain a different perception. Know that you are supported. And the outcome of where this is all directing you, that Spirit's asking, brings you to the Queen of Swords. She's poised. She's unbiased. She's fair. She's direct. She's got wisdom. I love that there's a bird up here, representing that you're always supported. Birds to me represent spirit. And what's interesting is it feels like this bird's kind of in a far distance. And as you begin to heal, sometimes it's kind of like the teacher's quiet during the test, but you know they're there. Never abandoning you, never leaving you. A moment to ask you to step into the power, because your higher self, your authentic reason for being here, is waiting for you to step into it. Unbind yourself from any self-doubt. You've done massive work. She's calm, she's cool, she's collective. She allows her wisdom and her intellect to guide her and lead her. It is beautiful. For your direct download. Dearest, lovely soul, you have done profound work, and none has gone unnoticed. Unbeknownst to you, you have planted a seed and tended to it wisely. You may say it was due to your healing. We say it was planted and planned before your coming. Either way, it's germinating. And within it, it feels awfully foreign. When foreign once may have frightened you, this foreign now feels exciting. See, this is how soul alignment feels. As your seed sprouts and gains roots, do not be surprised if beliefs are rattled as you expand into the purest authenticity of you. This may cause hesitancy, and we ask you to surrender any anxiety of being strange or different, for it is exactly this that makes you authentic. Beauty, your authentic beauty, for it is exactly this that makes your authentic beauty radiate. Release any fixed ideas to receive more. That doesn't sound right. To receive more ideas, different ideas. As your seed breaks, embrace the discomfort. As your roots take hold, embrace the different. Prepare for as you blossom, big things are coming. A new way of life is coming. Don't reject it. Free fall into it. You're going to experience life like never before. You earned it. Let the pool lead you. I feel that. Oh, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. A new life. You've outgrown your old. And new is foreign. But that doesn't mean it has to be bad. It's just something you're not familiar with. What's the quote? Every master had to be trust into it, free fall into it. Spirit's got your back. In the process, you're going to find out those that matter will support you. Those that don't, let them fly. I have so much love for you. And until next time, namaste. To the group that was called to track number 2. First and foremost, I was saging my area, clearing the energy, when I got burnt. It singed my pants. And I take everything into account, a part of the reading. So I have to ask, do you feel like you've been singed? Did you get burnt? Maybe just recently. burnt in a relationship, circumstance, or situation. I go into premeditative state, and immediately I'm picking up on a very fiery energy, very similar to that of our fire element friends. You are a born leader. It is innate in your ability. It seems, I wrote, it's like the things that you choose, the decisions you make, when you make them, you make sure it equates to what you want to radiate to the world, to others to see. You're very consciously aware of your choices and how that reflects to others. And if it doesn't make you feel powerful, then it's not for you. You do not mind being in the spotlight. And you do have the ability to see things that others don't. Hence why you're a born leader. You have this ability that many people don't foresee. And you want to be seen for who you are. But I have to ask, who are you? Yes, your power is majestic and is filled with ambition. And it does radiate. But are you standing in your true essence? See, the energy I was picking up does not feel in heart and mind coherence. It feels like it's a projection. To something. Because you don't know thyself. Maybe you think you do. There's something that's out of alignment, to say the least. Now, I went ahead and laid some cards to understand what kind of habitual cycle, where you're at, and where does Spirit want you to go. Our underlining energy comes with the 5 of Cups, but it comes in reverse. Hence the singe, the burnt. Did you get burned? You lost your 3 cups. And forget that there's 2 cups still waiting. However, with it being in reverse, and especially within this deck, it signifies the ability to alchemize the energy. The analogy that comes to my mind is how some people will go to the gym to exude, to release pent-up energy. You have energy, maybe it's the hurt, and the ability to ship and shape and change where you're at. But are you in that coherency to direct that energy adequately? Because see, the heart of the spread, the card that represents you, comes with the Temperance, but it comes in reverse. Immediately it feels like instant gratification energy, acting before thinking. Now, it's one of the great things about born leaders is that they're willing to take the gambles. They're willing to go on the limb where most people aren't. However, at what cost? See, it seems that it's triggered by the Queen of Swords, but it comes in reverse as well. This energy of lashing out on others, and then when coming internal, beating thyself up. Maybe a little bit of depression. And feeling like nobody really totally gets it. And the innate reaction to you, my friend, comes with the Prince of Wands, further clarifying the Temperance in reverse, in that there is a very ambitious, which was very key in the premeditation, fury, energetic soul, ready to charge without a second thought, to take it all on. I'm hearing assertive. And a disregard of consequence, lack of regard to consequences. Which feels like this Five of Cups of energy in reverse, taking that energy, exuding it. At the fight, like it's at this, the hymn at the seam of the pants, at the whim of a fly. Just as you please, when you please. However, does it get you any closer to where you want to be? This is the cycle, because it comes with the Princess of Cups in reverse. See, you do have an ability to see things. You do see things different than anybody else does, which may be contributing to this feel of internal berate, depression, wanting to lash out on others. It's hard to be a part of the world, but not a part of the world. A part of the world, but not a part of the world. The Princess of Cups, to me, in reverse, represents feelings of seeing it all. Seeing it all. And feeling misunderstood. Which leads you back to the Temperance in reverse. This is the cycle. So what would Spirit like from you? To become conscious and maybe make a conscious choice with the Two of Wands. Now what's interesting is in this Two of Wands, I think it's a lady. She's covered. Face, head. Trying to be inconspicuous. Deciding which way is right. To me, this represents, and immediately I'm feeling, continue your habitual ways or make the conscious choice to do something different. Using that passion, again, wands, fiery energy, to move you forward into the life, to a life that's fulfilling. And where Spirit would like to see you comes with the Two of Cups, but in reverse. A fair warning, do not be led by your lust of ideas or people or situations or ideals that are not in alignment to who you are. I cannot help but feel like that's maybe been this kind of energy. You're a born leader. There's so much meant for you. So much. But if you're not consciously aware of who's driving and what's driving the motives, the energy, then our karmic cycles continue, right? Your direct download. The first thing that came to my mind as I sat with this, every action is either an act of love or a call for love. Do you know what your actions entail? Do you know that the personal experiences also help develop the sense of personal values? It's the dualities that help discern what you want, need, and value. When these experiences are discerned, recognition also manifests that your reality matters, as well as others. The internal reflection enables the ability to see the authentic self, its path, and why it matters. It also permits healing of the heart that may have held on to any past guilt or shame, past abandonments and betrayals. There is an abundance of spiritual support available, and when centered in the heart, it's heart and head coherence, there is comfort rather than a need to fight against it. When your mind is at conflict, this is what's coming in right now. Can you just observe your thoughts? Right? Because it's kind of hard to turn our minds off. It's one of the biggest arguments about meditation, because when you try to think about stopping to think, then you're thinking about stopping how to think. But to surrender into the thoughts that bombard us, can you just witness the thoughts and go, and just become curious about it and let it pass? It's coming in strong right now. It is a time of restorative power for both mind, body, and soul. A healing force is ready to be awakened to help mend the emotions that no longer serve you and try to entrap you from finding happiness. You may want to disregard even this, but be assured in your will to emerge into a renewal, a divine higher self is also waiting to show you the sovereignty of your blessings. The blessings that are ripening for the picking. Give yourself time and space to obtain the best work for you. The biggest overall theme I'm getting from this right now, despite what may have happened, what may have hurt you, it even feels like this to me, because Five of Cups is pondering over what's lost, right? But it's in reverse. So it's like you have this energy and this will to move forward and do something different. But it's actions that are out of the unconscious alignment to who you are. And when you harness the power that you have, you are powerful, you are majestic. And you have talents that not many in this world possess. It's an opportunity to embody and harness those gifts to work in your favor. I have so much love for you guys. I hope this helps. And as always, namaste. To the group that was called to track number 3, let me just say, you are a fighter. And I don't know if that's something that naturally comes or is something that is natural to you. Because see, I think underlining is a very sensitive, very big, tender soul. The energy I picked up on felt like it has been a fight. And I can't help this came in. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to apply. But it feels like there's something of legal matters, if you will, which could be something that's been very long, drawn out, standing in your integrity, trying to do what's right, wanting something to be over, and it's been prolonged. It almost feels like maybe a custody battle or a divorce. Not necessary, but potential. I wrote, it feels like you've been tested, and it's been an uphill battle. Definitely not for the faint of heart. Looking for resolute and holding a line. not a time to back down. Yet I feel that there's this big, soft, and tender heart which has left you in a lot of grief. Testing yourself, to know your intents, the reasons why you do the things you do. Knowing your heart. I feel like there's been many times that you have gone maybe at war, especially to the original, to the main download, with yourself. There's crying, tears. It's a heavy, heavy reading. However, it feels like this energy is coming maybe to the end. Like, it almost has this 9 of Wands feeling. The wounded warrior who still stands. And this was very strong. In this feeling of you don't know strength until it's your only option. And I feel like whatever you may be facing, either is passing or is coming or it's right here. It's the moment that will test the strength of your will. Or this whole scenario has been testing the strength of your will, if you will. Definitely something that has propelled you to do internal. Because it's a lot of energy. And when you put out a lot of energy, you can't help but do the internal reflection. Like, was it all for? And I think at the end of the day, whatever you're fighting for, you know in your heart at this point that your intents are pure. And that goes back to that big, tender heart. Now, I've laid some cards to get a better idea. This is in reference to kind of where have you been in the last 6 months? What is the habitual way? What is it that Spirit would like for you to break from to move forward? And let's just get to it. Your underlining energy comes with the King of Cups. Another clear indicator that you are in fact a big tender soul. Very intuitive, in touch with your emotions. What I love about this card, however, he holds a handful of cards in his hand. He's playing a game. And his throne sits on a chess. Diplomat. Strategy. Big heart, but not a pushover. Understanding that you have to know how to play the game, if you will. And I can't help but emphasize or feel like this cup, the cup he holds, is what he's playing it all for that wish fulfillment, for the desire, for the outcome. Interesting enough, the waters are not very calm, and the clouds are not necessarily white. But on a positive note, it's not a total on storm at this point. So either the storm is starting to pass, or maybe you feel the storm coming. However, I can't help but feel like the storm is starting to break up. The main card that reflects you in this moment comes with the 5 of Pentacles. Emphasizing to me immediately, you feel like you're left out in the dark, out in the cold. This is a battle that I think you've done alone. I don't know how much support you've had, though as I say that, there's the frog escorting her away. But he reminds me of something that might have been with the legal matters too, as he wears the wig and so forth. That represents you in regards to the habitual habits, feeling left out in the cold. And the trigger comes with the 10 of Pentacles, but it comes in reverse. This signifies to me that whatever you are fighting for is at the home base. It is the structure of your life, that which you've had complete structure around. The stability, financial stability, the home, the career. It doesn't necessarily mean, though, because it's interesting, it's the Pentacles. It's stability. It doesn't necessarily mean it was your heart's wish fulfillment of whatever triggers it. It's just feels like a destruction of that. Doesn't mean it's not hard. To me, it more represents that stability of that which you know being shaken from underneath you. Maybe you've moved jobs. Maybe you've moved locations, home residency. It's a very big life-altering thing. And you've had a fight. I don't feel like you're out of the storm just yet, or that there has been resolve to it. But you feel left out in the dark, and the trigger is because all that you know has been shaken from you, is turned upside down. The 10 of Pentacles, your stability. And the internal, like the internal trigger to it all, your internal reaction to it all, comes with the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. I can't help but feel that you have withdrawn all of your energy from everything and harnessed it within. To me, immediately when this card came out and reading the energies, I don't feel like you know. I don't feel like you can trust anybody. You don't know who to trust. I can't help but feel like you've been taken advantage of, or misled in some way. But regardless, it feels to me in this card, the only person I can trust is me. Do not care to collaborate with anybody. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to safeguard my heart so it doesn't hurt anymore, and I'm going to get through this. But by God, when we accept no help, it's a lot to be carrying on your shoulders. And the result, from the trigger to your response to the internal reflection and the way you feel, comes with the Queen of Wands. I dare not piss off the Queen of Wands when she's in reverse. See, I also, with her and it being the Wands, it's very passionate. You know you have to play the game right. But the King of Cups is very in tune with his emotions as well. Queen of Wands, she's passionate. Passionate about what she is fighting for. And when she's been done wrong and she's in reverse, well, she doesn't put up with shit. In fact, she can be quite abrasive, might be the word. Which makes sense if you pushed everybody else away from you, right? I can do it by myself. But I don't feel like that is who you are at the root of it all. It feels more of an ego-based ran at this point. The ego that comes up, perks its gnarly head to protect you. And it's not a bad thing. That's the other thing I like to say too. With the Queen of Wands, usually her strife or her anger doesn't mean it's not warranted. She can just be quite vindictive if necessary. So we ask Spirit, this is your cycle. Where would they like to see you maneuver, to change routes, to regain and harness to whatever it is that you're seeking? The first card that came out was Justice, but it came on a side and I could not get a direction of it should be right, upright, or reversed. So I kept it on the side, representing kind of a challenging factor, challenging energy. But something that we can do to shift this habitual cycle that you're in. To gain justice, I ask for clarification. It comes with the Queen of Swords and the Magician. Queen of Swords carries a very similar energy to this King of Cups who sits his throne on top of a chessboard playing the cards. Use your intellect. Be precise. Allow no one to take cheap shots. What I love about it is when she's upright, she's fair, and she's just. With the Magician, it's a reminder. You have the power to make this go, whatever scenario you're in your favor. You have the power, the tools within. Spirit's asking that you bring it to the forefront. To remember that you can make this scenario go any way you would like. It's about tapping into those tools. Remembering you're the creator of your reality and the way you perceive your problems. Project to the universe. Intend how you would like it to be. Which is hard if you're carrying the burdens of feeling left out. That's the hardest thing about law of attraction, right? Is we always look at what is happening now rather than foreseeing the way we want it and trying to bring it to the present. But you're capable and you have the ability. Not only that, you got the intellect to make it happen. Because where Spirit would really like to see you, when it's all said and done, to help you move through and transition through wherever you're at, comes with the Judgment card. To me, the rebirth. The moment when you look back at what has plagued you for the last 6 months, been weighing heavily on you, it's nothing more than the bag of wisdom that you carry. A new dawn, a new day. In this card, we see the rabbit blowing his trumpet. But the cards have now moved from 2D to 3D. It's a new life. Everything that was before, when they were living the 2D life, takes on a whole brand new meaning. It's like they're alive for once, right? I think that's what Spirit's really urging for you, especially as we move into your direct download. It's perception. There's always multiple ways to get to your heart's fulfillment, and you've got the analytic. You've got the analytical smarts. You know the game. You know you're playing a game. Whatever that may be. The game of chess is planning 3 steps ahead. It's hard to do that, though, if you're feeling left out in the cold and triggered into feeling that you have to be on the, I don't know, is it offense or defense? Offense, where you're always the one putting the shield up before you can make your next move. Protecting your heart. Because you don't trust anybody, and because all that you know has been, the stability has been shaken up. Your direct download. The fear of being taken advantage of keeps you holding a sword at high alert to wrath off all that may be coming at you with ill intent. In the process, you also exceed an awful lot of energy. The battle you fight is real, but not what you think. Do not fear being and embracing the tender soul that you are. For we promise you, love does indeed win, We would like to remind you there is other ways to proceed to obtain the results you seek. One that will not leave you so depleted, but can act as a buffer in much more of a gentle way. We have heard your cries, felt your suffer, and seen the wars you wage. Take heed to our advice. Allow the divine intervention to guard against those with ill intents, so that you may push beyond not a breakdown, but a breakthrough. Can you allow yourself to surrender to the calming energies of even the heavy challenges? Trust us when we say spirit and higher self, your higher self, has you and is ready and as willing as you are to respond to what is needed. Lay your sword and trust what is transpiring is only for healing. Lay your sword, that which is part of your innate belief that it must be a war. For there is indeed other avenues, such as being more gentler and graceful. For it is a dance of love that reveals the more loving way. It's very interesting because the energy I pick up is very similar to always being on the defense. You never know what's coming at you. It feels like a blow could come at any moment. And I understand that feeling, but I also understand what Spirit's trying to say. It comes with an act of faith, that we give our opportunity to trust that the outside resources, because we can't control what's happening beyond us, right? So just give faith that that part will be taken care of, and allocating the energy that best suits us by embracing that tenderness that you are. Don't let those outside things, even if they're ill intent, to ruffle you, but rather to feel into whatever the messages are coming. Because I think it brings out a side of you that takes a lot of energy, but I don't know that it really serves. I wish you the best of luck. I know you'll do great. The dawn waits. And until next time, namaste. To the group that was called to track number 4. Premeditative energy is intense. The cards I lay are even more. The immediate energy I pick up in my premeditation is this feeling of wanting to take karma into your own hands. A need and feeling of retribution, revenge, forcing an outcome. Yet we know for every action comes a consequence, right? Good or bad. And what the main energy I was picking up on is I can't help but ask, what are your motives? To want revenge or seek retribution is something that somebody has hurt us and probably betrayed us. Now, when I lay these cards, it tells quite a story, and it's a general reading, so it does not necessarily mean that it has to be that of a significant relationship, but that's what it foretells to me. Something that you had thought was going to be a future with somebody significant, somebody that you hold dear. Our underlining energy comes with the 2 of Cups, but it comes in reverse. We see a couple here. I presume it's a couple What's interesting in this card, though, they both show their left hands, arms are out, they're exposed, and they both hold their right arms. That's what immediately poked out to me. It almost feels like this couple, this relationship, friendship, whatever it is, they both are hiding something. It's coming in reverse. So this enduring relationship appears to be coming to an end. It's the underlining energy of what encapsulates you right here, right now. And the energy that represents you the best came with the Five of Pentacles. Now, I can't help but feel like this is kind of family related, but maybe it's my side versus their side. Because here we have a woman and she has her 2 children. I presume they're her 2 children. And they're out in the cold, they're in the rags. And even the pennies show the backside, the tails. Fending is the word I feel. Fending for you and your loved ones. And the way that I have this reading set up is to represent you, your triggers, and what Spirit is asking you to move through. And this is very interesting the way these all came out. I've really had to sit with this energy. Your triggering energies comes with the King of Cups and the 3 of Cups. Trigger. And immediately, I can't help but to tell a story. Whoever is a part of the significant other that you held dear is also your trigger. And his relationships, or her relationships, take it however it resonates, is interesting because it seems that their glory, right? 3 of Cups is celebration. We got 3 women. And a King of Cups who, it didn't come in reverse. It's interesting. But he's very emotional, in tune with his vulnerability of whatnot. Maybe they're out living their best life and it triggers you because you are out feeding for yourself. Take this out on a very energetic level. It doesn't have to be literal. But somebody else's success, somebody leaving you for something else, maybe triggering you. That's how I cannot help but read it. And what does it do to you? It goes to a 4 of Swords. It's interesting because the 3 of Swords is like the betrayal, right? Like the heartache, the real true heartache. So something's moved and shifted because this to me feels like emotional exhaustion. Time to recoup, to regain yourself, to try to bring yourself back, because every time you think about that, I think it stings you. And where does it lead you? When it's all said and done, is to the 2 of Wands. The opportunity to make a choice. Your life path. How are you going to proceed? What's interesting, however, is she doesn't really take a grasp of the Wands. She just ponders. And this seems to be the habitual cycle you're stuck in. Looking at where you're at. Looking at whatever has gone a disarray, and leaving you a bit despaired. Maybe at times feeling a bit revengeful due to the premeditated energy. Now this is where it gets really weird, so bear with me. I ask Spirit, where would you like those who will be drawn to track number 4 to go? How would you like them to proceed? It comes with a 6 of Cups. To me, this represents nostalgia. Remembering why is actually the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this. Almost similar to what I wrote here. What is your motives? But then I saw the outcome. And it screamed, this card ended up screaming something completely different to me. I can't help but feel maybe right now, rather than feeling whatever has caused your pain, and maybe why you can't or struggling to make a decision, is a moment of suppressing. Because I can't help but feel like what Spirit is asking when I say, where do you want these people to go? Came out with 3 cards, very intense in energy. And I can't help but feel like it is screaming. It's time to surrender and feel into the reality of what has actually happened. And I want to choke up and cry because it's horrific. It comes with a 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords, there's no win. There's no collaborating. It is somebody defeating, triumphing, bolstering at another's expense. And it's clarified with the 7 of Swords. Being done dirty. Betrayal. Backstabbed. Horrific energy. Horrific. And it has another clarification, which is the 10 of Swords. It's the full-on betrayal. If you were pulled to this, and if this is resonating, something in your life, somebody has done you dirty. That's how I'm reading this. And I cannot, for the life of me, blame you at all for maybe wanting a little bit of revenge. To have this energy is to tell me that nobody was ever playing fair. You were never going to win. There was never a win-win situation. And at the end of the day, it was you that had to go through all of it and endure every blast. So is it possible that you are avoiding seeing all of this because it hurts so fucking bad? Excuse my language, but that's the reality of it. And it might be easier to just be here and continue the cycle of observing who's done you wrong as they celebrate and do whatever as they did you at your expense, maybe. You know, this feels like this is just coming in. Is this possibly your significant other and his children? Maybe he cheated on you with somebody else. Maybe it was, when I say he, maybe it's a she with her kids. It's just the way the cards fell. But whoever it is harnessing this energy of this intuitive, soft being in some sort of celebration with their kin. That's what it feels like. Or maybe it's somebody else. I don't know. However it plays out. But the truth is that if this card represents you, the 2 of Cups, both of you guys were not being fully honest in the beginning. There's a mirror reflection happening. And if you don't know what that is, though, that's the beauty of the internal healing. When we learn to surrender into all this pain, a lot of answers are revealed. And sometimes it even goes beyond even this meeting. But to our childhood wounds, or what started it all. But those are layers to be yet perceived until you get there. Now, your direct download immediately came in, and I'm encouraged to share the story. I posted a picture on my personal page of Gaia, and it's in her storm, right? And there's lightning, and anyway, it's absolutely beautiful. And I made a comment. I said, Gaia, Mother Gaia, she's absolutely beautiful, even in her fits of rage, to say at least something. And somebody came in and made a comment and said, she's even more beautiful in her fits. And when I had read that comment, immediately I thought, yes. But that does not mean I want to be in the middle of it, right? We don't want to be in the middle of the tornado or the eye of the hurricane or whatever they call it, because that's pretty horrific. And but when you're on the out, because it is horrific, and that's like a violent experience. You don't really want to be in there. But when you're viewing this picture from the outside, what you see is magnificent. It's beautiful. And I feel like that's kind of where they're asking you to go. I'm not saying, I think the only way to is through your direct download. The storm, both internal and external, has a natural process like that of Mother Gaia. However, amongst the storm, in the storm, you can't possibly see what is brewing. The violent winds and beating of the rain feels like chaos. The lack of direction feels like anxiety. And at the heart of the storm comes the feeling of eruption. Even more uncertainty is held with those who also join in the storm, creating their own sets of upheavals, contributing to the havoc. When a storm of this magnitude enters, you simply can't tell Mother Gaia to stop and expect her to listen. For there is a higher order and cosmic calculation to the madness, and something she knows best. Likewise, to your storm, there is a perfect calculation to the madness, set in motion for the profound impact on you. It has been set in motion to help clear a path and prepare you for what is ahead. Do not be dismayed. You are not doomed to be here forever. There are things that must unfold first before the clouds break. Please know, despite your situation, you are not alone. We are here with you, and we actually encourage your expression of however you choose to unblock your own stuck energy. Your life is radically shifting. The storm is transforming you. And your ability to trust the unfolding of your path, you are also able to do so. And in being able to do so, you will also have a new process of learning to trust. Now, this came in so huge. I wrote that, and I also heard, you will trust again. You will. If you allow yourself into the process which is unfolding to learn to trust and step into your divinity. It's an intense reading, and it's hard. It's hard. There's nothing beautiful about this. I can't help but feel like that's what Spirit's encouraging. If you want to heal, you've got to go through it and pull back those layers to where it all began, to get to the core. Allocating you the ability to stand in your divinity and in your power and in a new perspective and new light only after you make it through the storm. That's an intense reading. I have so much love for you. The best piece of wisdom I have is to always just remember, as much as it feels like things are happening to you, they really are. Even if you can't see it, they're always happening for you. I have so much love. Best of luck. Till next time. Namaste.